At this time, Chaplain Fowler will offer the invocation prayer.
Join me please for the invocation. Lord God, I ask you to bless this morning's graduation ceremony. Thank you for allowing this moment to become a reality. May our actions and speech during this ceremony be honoring and acceptable to you. For your great kindness and assistance over the past months, and for the many accomplishments of these fine officers, I pause to give you thanks. Thank you also for the loving support given by these family members, loved ones, and dear friends. I appreciate too the excellent training and command support provided by our cadre over these months as well. These things I ask through Jesus Christ my Lord. Amen. Amen.
Leaders and soldiers, please join the Lieutenant General Leonetti Leadership Award winner, Captain Eamon McCardle, in reciting the Soldier's Creed. Soldier's Creed!
I am an American soldier. I am a warrior member of the team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained, proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I am a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I am a guardian of freedom in their every way of life. I am an American soldier.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Please direct your attention to the screen for a video presentation brought to you by the graduating class. graduating class. Lieutenant Ronald B. Hildner. Lieutenant Ronald B. Hildner commissioned in the Air Defense Artillery from the United States Military Academy in 1992. Lieutenant Colonel Hildner has served in every position from platoon leader through battalion commander. Lieutenant Colonel Hildner holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Political and Cultural Geography, a Master's in Military Art and Science from the United States Army School for Advanced Military Studies, and a Master's of Arts in Management from Webster University. Lieutenant Colonel Hildner has 2 children, Ryan and Elena. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Lieutenant Colonel Ronald B. Hildner.
Wow, what a nice video. That was well put together. Well, Captain Career Corps 0314, it's a beautiful morning to graduate, isn't it? Whoa. General Spillman, distinguished guests, families, and friends, thank you for coming to honor our newest Captain's Career Course graduates, these captains and warrant officers of the Air Defense Captain's Career Course Class 0314. I am honored and humbled to be here today speaking to the future leaders of our branch and the Army. It is an opportunity to provide you these final bits of information, sparks of inspiration, and thoughts that might resonate with you as you rush from Fort Sill today and go on to the next chapter of your life. So bear with me. They didn't tell me that I had any time limit for this speech this morning, okay? Now, all I have to do is not put you to sleep and make it memorable. Now let's talk about you. Let me take this opportunity to tell you what the Army is looking for in a leader, or better yet, let me tell you what I'm looking for in a new leader, a captain or warrant officer coming out of the Captain's Career Course. The Army is an outdoor sport. We are men and women of action. You joined our ranks during a prolonged war, and you knew that you were getting into when you raised your right hand. And you came in with your eyes wide open. The Army is not easy or risk-free. When you walk out these doors today, nobody can question your commitment or your selfless service. You have been involved here within the battalion and the community and have done a great job, as shown on the slideshow. Now, I want you to stay involved, but in a different way. I want you to know your soldiers. I figured out early in my career, and I hope you will too, that our best and most reliable weapon system in today's Army is the soldier. Like any weapon system, care and maintenance is required if you want it to work correctly, especially if you're in a tight spot. The way we look at soldiers, the way we communicate with soldiers, and the way we train our leaders has changed. My generation of soldier communicated through the spoken word. Today's youth, our soldiers, and each of you communicate using electronic means, social media, texting, Facebook, Twitter, and to quote Vince Vaughn in the movie The Internship, on the line. This is important to understand, but one thing I need you to keep in mind during a crisis, soldiers trust the spoken word of their command team and the information that the FRGs put out, more than they trust Twitter, Facebook, or gossip. We learned that during the last 13 years of this prolonged war. Keep that in mind as you arrive at your next unit and take on leadership positions. Also, as a future battery and battalion leader or staff, you have to get comfortable with asking the hard questions to your soldiers. And most importantly, listening to what they have to say, no matter how good, how bad, or how ugly. If it's good news, celebrate. If it's bad news, dispassionately listen to the facts, process, then decide to take action. Now, if it's the ugly news, know where to get help, and then take action. Keep those in mind. Stay engaged. Engaged leadership is being comfortable talking to your soldiers and their families about all aspects of their well-being. Some say that it's too touchy-feely, or their off time is their off time. Not so. That attitude is what is going to get you and your soldiers in hot water. Most of the issues in today's Army are predictable and preventable if you, the leader, are engaged and stay engaged. So as a leader in our branch, what is your mission? You've done NDMP, you've figured out how to put the 5 W's together in a mission statement. So what is your mission as a leader? Do you know what it is? I've asked that question many times of students, and I've heard some interesting responses. If you're thinking your mission is to put steel on target in a cockpit of a helicopter or aircraft or TBM, or maybe intercept rockets, missiles, and artillery, then in my opinion, you probably need to re-zero and get a better shotgun. I would suggest to you that your real mission should simply be to prepare for combat and take care of your soldiers and their families. And that, oh by the way, includes being you taking care of yourself and your families, because you no doubt know the term balance. You as an individual, a leader going out to the Army, have a responsibility to yourself and your family, because that will directly and indirectly translate to your unit, soldiers and their families. Now, what do I look for in a leader? Should I expect you to be John Wayne, Russell Crowe, or add any one of your action stars out there? Well, what I'm looking for in an engaged leader simply is a leader who lives by Army values, a leader who inspires others by deeds, not words, a leader who understands the standards and is not afraid to enforce them, especially with their peers, someone who can counsel a soldier and look him or her in the eye and tell them the hard truth, a leader with an even keel who is fair and impartial in giving praise and punishment, a leader who seeks out responsibility and wants to be in charge, and a leader who embraces our history, our culture, our traditions in the Army and desires to be part of that lineage. So to help you, here are some tips that I want to give you as a leader. You never get a second chance to make that first impression, especially going to a new unit coming after the captain's career course. Excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. You work for your soldiers and their families. Leaders serve their subordinates. Have a service mentality. Again, I'm absolutely convinced that all accidents are predictable and preventable. You affect this as a leader. Like safety, suicide is both predictable and preventable when leaders stay engaged and know their soldiers. The only thing we can do when we're deployed, the only thing we can't do when we're deployed is spend time with our families. Family readiness groups are about taking care of families and disseminating command information. They're about helping people learn to help themselves. Family first policies are about deeds, not words, and that being with your family should not be a difficult policy to follow. The relationship between the military and local communities are very important. We, after all, are their Army. And finally, what actually may be the most important tip in today's world, especially with all the phones and IT stuff out there, is do not ever anger the IT guy. They are highly caffeinated, wield huge amount of powers, and are the sneakiest SOBs that you ever saw in your life. So stay on their good side. Now let's wrap this up because I've been talking far too long. Congratulations for your successful completion of the course. When you live here today, don't forget why you came and why you're a commissioned officer. You're the best and brightest of our nation. You are the better men and women in our society, and I'm extremely proud of you all. Thank you for your service, and to the families present today, thank you for your sacrifice. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Ron Hillner, and I am an American soldier. Let's graduate.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, for each class, the United States Army Air and Missile Defense School recognizes a Lieutenant General Levon Distinguished Honor Graduate, a Major General Anderson Iron Leader, a IMS Distinguished Honor Graduate, a Lieutenant General Leonetti Leadership Award winner, a Colonel Summons Communication Skills Award winner, a Colonel Macello Tactics Award winner. A further description of each award can be found in your program. The Lieutenant General Levon Distinguished Honor Graduate is the student who achieved the highest academic average in the class and scored at least 250 points on the final APFT. The Distinguished Honor Graduate for this class is Captain Jason Welch. Captain Welch is also a winner of the Colonel Summons Communication Skills Award. The Colonel Summons Communication Skills Award winner is presented to the officers with the highest level of written communications during the course. Captain Welch is also a winner of the Colonel Macello Tactics Award. The Colonel Macello Tactics Award recipient was chosen by the instructors to complete in a series of reports testing their technical and tactical abilities and the commander's use of the military decision-making process. Captain Welch will be assigned to Italy. The Major General Anderson Iron Leader Award is given to the student with the highest APFT score throughout the course. The Major General Anderson Iron Leader Award winner for this class with the APFT score of 328 is Captain Ignace Bashis from Lithuania. The IMS Distinguished Honor Graduate is the IMS student who has achieved the highest GPA on IMS and scores at least 207 points on the final APFT. The IMS Distinguished Honor Graduate for this class is Captain Eduardo Costa from Brazil. The Lieutenant General Leonetti Leadership Award is presented to the officer selected by his or her peers and instructors who has demonstrated the highest example of professionalism and leadership during the course. The Lieutenant General Leonetti Leadership Award recipient for this class is Captain Eamon McCardle. Captain McCardle will be assigned to Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, Major Dunant and Command Sergeant Major Enoch will now present the awardees of Lieutenant Colonel Hildner's class with their Army Achievement Medals and Certificates of Achievement. The Secretary of the Army has awarded the Army Achievement Medal to Captain Jason Welch for exceptional achievement as a CCC student while assigned to Headquarters and Alpha Battery, 2nd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery Regiment. Captain Welch's extraordinary efforts, dedication to academic excellence, and overall professionalism sets the standards for all students to follow. These qualities are in keeping with the finest traditions of the military and reflects great credit upon himself, Headquarters and Alpha Battery, 2nd Battalion, 6th Air Defense Artillery, and the United States Army. Certificates of achievement are being presented to the Colonel Summons Communication Award and the Colonel Macello Tactics Award recipient, Captain Jason Welch. IMS Distinguished Honor Graduate, Captain Eduardo Costa, and the Lieutenant General Leonetti Leadership Award recipient, Captain Eamon McCardle. At this time, please join me in a round of applause for the Distinguished Honor Graduate and all the award recipients. The following individuals have earned the honor of making the Commandant's list. These officers are recognized for graduating in the top of their class. Captain William Hill. Captain Hill will be assigned to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Captain Stephen Jaskowiak. Captain Jaskowiak will be assigned to Germany. Captain Simon McManus. Captain McManus will be assigned to Fort Bliss, Texas. Captain Thomas Webb. Captain Webb will be assigned to Korea. Please join me in giving the Commandant's List recipients a round of applause. At this time, the remainder of the class will be recognized alphabetically. Please hold your applause until all the graduates have been recognized. Captain Brian Abel. Captain Abel will be assigned to Fort Bliss, Texas. First Lieutenant Ahmad Al-Zorgan from Jordan. Chief Warrant Officer Lakeisha Babers. Chief Babers will be assigned to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Captain Jeffrey Cashin. Captain Cashin will be assigned to Fort Shafter, Hawaii. Captain Tristan Kavanaugh. Captain Kavanaugh will be assigned to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Major Ahmed El-Barbari from Egypt. Captain Patrick Flanagan. Captain Flanagan will be assigned to Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina. Chief Warrant Officer William Gold. Chief Gold will be assigned to Fort Shafter, Hawaii. Captain Leonard Hester. Captain Hester will be assigned to Germany. Captain Samantha Knappman. Captain Knappman will be assigned to Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina. Captain Stephen Major from Alaska National Guard. Captain Dodo Sohata Manulang from Indonesia. Chief Warrant Officer Anthony McCord. Chief McCord will be assigned to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Captain Emily Newman. Captain Newman will be assigned to Fort Shafter, Hawaii. Captain Grant Pinkston. Captain Pinkston will be assigned to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Captain Joel Podbereski. Captain Podbereski will be assigned to Fort Bliss, Texas. Captain Jose Ramos. Captain Ramos will be assigned to Fort Bliss, Texas. Captain Daniel Ruiz. Captain Ruiz will be assigned to Fort Bliss, Texas. Captain Joseph Schlosser. Captain Schlosser will be assigned to Korea. Captain Deshaun Sims. Captain Sims will be assigned to Korea. Captain Andrew Sklar. Captain Sklar will be assigned to Korea. Captain Charles Stanfield. Captain Stanfield will be assigned to Fort Lewis, Washington. Captain Tavi Talunik from Estonia. Captain Carson Thomas. Captain Thomas will be assigned to Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina. Captain Joshua Turbyfield. Captain Turbyfield will be assigned to Fort Bliss, Texas. Captain Herman Wu. Captain Wu will be assigned to Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the graduates of the Air Defense Artillery Captain's Career Course. Captain Willis will now present Lieutenant Colonel Hillman with a token of appreciation. Sir, on behalf of Class 0314, I'd like to present a token of appreciation for sharing your words with us. Juctus exemplo, leadership by example. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Air Defense Artillery March and the Army Song. gentlemen, this concludes today's graduation ceremony. On behalf of the Captain's Career Course, Lieutenant Colonel Hildner's class, we would like to thank the families, cadre, and Fort Sill leadership for their continued support. The distinguished honor graduate, awardees, and Commandant's List graduates will be at the front of the stage for you to congratulate.